guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show. Hello if you're new. Today's video is going to be a review of the film Coffee and Kareem, which dropped on Netflix today. And obviously the film has Taraji P. Henson in it, and that's literally like the only reason why I was excited to tune in to this film. And in terms of Taraji P. Henson in the film, she definitely delivers, but does the film deliver? I'll let you know very soon. In terms of what the film is, it's an action comedy and it follows this boy called Kareem who is upset with his mother, who is dating a cop, who makes a plan to get rid of him by getting criminals to beat him up. But as he goes to organize that meeting, he ends up seeing things that he shouldn't and gets himself in a compromising position that puts both him and Coffee in danger, which takes us on this wild journey of cat and mouse. It does have some notable people in here. It has King Bat, Betty Gilpin in here. And in terms of what you can expect from the film, the tone definitely got a decent amount of action on it. About like 15 to 20 minutes in, that's when the real action starts. I think the comedy element, a lot of the comedy element is going to throw a lot of people out of the film. There's elements of slapstick on it. It plays off stereotypes, but there is a lot of kind of vulgar shock value comedy in there, and I feel like that might throw a lot of people off the film. And for me, I personally didn't like the comedic tone of the film in terms of the stereotypes, the slapstick. I feel like it was very deadpan in terms of the comedy. The comedy was very problematic, and I don't necessarily mind problematic comedy as long as it's intelligent, but this was just dumb. But I have to say, it wasn't very smart. There was like a few jokes in there that I was like, okay, that was sort of decent. The vulgar comedy, the shock value comedy definitely put me off the film, to be honest. In terms of my tolerance for problematic comedy that I just put me entirely off, that I didn't like in the film, I think it was the jokes or the joking about sexual assault, male sexual assault, child sexual abuse. I personally don't enjoy jokes of that nature. I think it's quite distasteful considering it being such an important issue and the fact that the main character is a child. There was other problematic avenues that they could have gone down. I definitely know that there is an audience for it, but I personally just don't think that it's tasteful. I don't think they were doing it in a way of trying to flip it around and trying to create a dialogue or conversation. I think it was just purely shock value, and I just feel like shock value comedy is just it's very basic, it's very cheap in my opinion. But yeah, what did you guys think about the comedy in the film? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know what you think. There was, like I said, there was some jokes that I did find funny, particularly King Batch's character was actually quite funny, but I feel like overall the vulgar jokes were too much. In terms of the characters, I feel like the performances were okay. I think they definitely worked with what they had with the material. Kareem, he plays the badass kid. I guess he plays the badass kid well, but we don't really see much development. I feel like with these films, when they have a really bad kid, they have them being on 10 throughout most of the film, and then they have like 2 minutes of them like being a normal sympathetic human being. That's the development over and done with. They definitely tried to develop his character, but it was very half-assed. Obviously there had to be that element of him now coming back down to earth, but it was just so rushed that it was just like, I don't buy this one bit. They definitely just thought, okay, shit, we need to develop him. We'll throw that in there for 2 minutes and we've done our job. I think Coffee's character, again, was okay, but again, not really much development there. He's kind of just a typical character that we've seen before. The well-meaning boyfriend who's trying to connect with the bratty son and is always helping him out despite not having any obligations to this bratty ass child because he loves the child's mother. We've seen it time and time again. And Taraji, I feel like Taraji was definitely the highlight of this film. I loved her action films, but they made us wait way too long to see Taraji in action. Probably should have utilized Taraji a lot more. I think it would have been nice to see her action from the very beginning instead of having to wait so long. And she definitely had the best action scene, and she was definitely the best character in the film. I do feel like we were a little bit cheated out of Taraji as well. They definitely gave Taraji fans what they came for, but it's like we had to endure the rest of that film just to see that. I'm not really sure if it was worth it. And even though Taraji was so good in the film, I don't think it improved the quality of the film significantly. Obviously, Betty Gilpin was in it as well. She plays a villain character. Again, a typical villain, not really much development there. Overall, It was quite predictable. You kind of knew what was going to happen. Like I said, I wasn't really that big of a fan of the comedy. And it's kind of a film we have seen before. I feel like the writing was very lazy and let the film down. It was just very lazy, very crass. I think overall the script and even the look of the film felt low budget. The police officer uniforms look so fake. I don't know who is in charge of the costume. I think the cinematography was okay. I think there was definitely elements such as makeup, specifically with injuries and stuff like that, that could have been improved, and they knew that they could use Taraji's face to pull the viewers in. And it worked because I watched it. If I wasn't watching to review, I think I would have left within the first 30 minutes. I love Taraji in it, but I don't think it is enough for me to recommend this film for other people to watch. Not by any means that I think this was going to be a masterpiece. I knew it was going to be an unserious film, but I thought it was going to at least be watchable, which unfortunately for me it wasn't. So taking everything into account, I'm going to have to give it a 2 out of 5. If you haven't watched the film, is this something that you were or still are looking to tune into? For everybody who has watched it, let me know what you thought of the film and let me know what you would rate it out of 5. And of course, let me know what you thought of my review. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to press that notification bell so you know when the next review is dropping. Till next time, guys, bye!